So, welcome to the PAC's first video interview, which is a new 10-minute thing we're doing. I'm here with my co-hosts Nick and Lawrence, and we're introducing Toby, who is a great musician and a very unusual, interesting character we've known for a long time, who has just released a new song, which is called No Smoke Without Fire, which he wrote with your friend, is it Assad, I believe? Assad?
Yeah.
What's his last name?
Bokhari.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
We did it. I had the lyrics written about a while back now, and I took it to Assad's house. He's a producer, and I didn't have any idea of music or anything in terms of what I was going to do, but I came up with a riff. Then he's a bass player. He can play a few things, but predominantly bass.
And synths, right? Synths, I've heard.
He plays chiptune.
Game Boys. He plays the Game Boy. Yeah.
He plays the Game Boy. He's reconstructed it. It's a Japanese. It's a bit niche, but what they've done is that he's taken the inside of the Game Boy and reconstructed it. So any kind of melodies you get from Game Boy games, he's now playing the melody and the rhythm track of in MIDI or whatever. I don't know. Bit parts, and so he's playing it as an instrument, different cartridges for different songs. I'm not very technical with this stuff. He's really the guy to ask.
He's very innovative.
Anyway,
it must be fun to play as well on stage, like
from what I gather. But what happened was I asked him to play bass on it. He came up with a part. I came up with another part. We actually had a talk about it, about the heaviness of it, and my voice, as you could tell in the song, is much deeper, and that was because at the time I got to his place quite early and hadn't really warmed up, so I was warming up, and he said, hang on, it works in a deep voice, like a lot of gothic bands.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound like you at all, but quite different.
Yeah, I hadn't warmed up, and he said there's something about you having a deep voice there that
works, definitely.
And I was like, okay, sure. And I like Sister Mercy, and obviously he's got the deep voice, so I was kind of like, okay, well, it's atmospheric, it's kind of very gothic and all of that. And then there's a bit where I was like, so dark, real. I really overdid it, and it's because you get indie singers who ham up putting on a British accent. You know, some of them it's genuine, like Suggs or Dame Norbarn, but then you get others who are like, I put it on so it's really, really over the top, Michael Caine almost.
Okay, hold. So you're saying you put on an accent in a way, but
I just hammed up the goth. You know, I was.
In the way that's what you meant to type of name. That's what still does, isn't it? You could say. Some people say.
Not all. You know, some people it's quite authentic and it's genuinely them. You know, Sid Barrett had a British accent, all of that. Sister Mercy, he's got a natural deep voice. Nick Cave, but I just thought, you know what? Let's ham it up. You know, if this is going to be a gothic song, let's just ham up that little bit.
It was quite interesting lyrics. I mean, I've only got two questions actually, and I'll leave the rest to Nick.
Yeah, of course.
My two questions were, the first was, well, you kind of answered this already, but it's what was the inspiration behind the song? And you mentioned this whole cover thing, but what was the overall inspiration, the whole sort of...
The inspiration is, I hope Lawrence is okay with me telling this story. But,
I anticipated this.
Okay. A few years ago, Lawrence and I had a falling out, which was to do with, I won't name names, but someone he was friends with who turned out to be very dodgy, had tried to assault a woman, and she had come to me about it, and I was pleading with Lawrence to just look, because Lawrence and I were kind of trying to start back, look, please just understand this is not okay. And Lawrence quite understandably didn't want to believe his friend would be capable of something like that, and I get that, but I didn't handle it very well. But the song at the time was me kind of pleading with him, and at the same time it was kind of like that line, your only friend won't be there when you're screaming in the ground, is kind of, it's part Lawrence, look, if you hypothetically started taking drugs and you OD'd, he wouldn't be there to help you, he'd run to save his own ass. And
I think the lyrics were very apt to the situation, you know, so it was
Okay.
It was a positive way for you to channel your perspective on the whole situation.
Yeah, and I mean,
You
you
know.
figured it out in the end. I mean,
And I find it quite amusing, you know.
I didn't get it was that bad.
There's an element of comedy to it. That
I must say, I didn't even get that. I thought it was like about someone who was damaging the environment. I don't know why I got that impression. I thought it was about environment. I don't know why.
well, actually,
yeah, sort of. It is.
Oh,
it's funny you mention that because I showed it to a friend of mine. And she said that she thought it was about the political climate, about being lied to, people, you know.
and what's happened to black people with like, you know, in America and all that stuff.
That's a big part of it. There's just in general Brexit, you know, people were told one thing and there was another thing. You know, we don't need to go too much into people's, but you know, there was misleading
interpretation is what you're saying, which is really good.
Yeah, and you know, they're just as valid as an interpretation. For me, it was about pleading with Lawrence. I think if a song makes you think in that kind of way, and it's a valid point, and it's got some meaning to you,
it's got multiple different meanings to different people.
Yeah, and they can be just as valid. They can just be valid. For me, it was about that particular thing.
The metaphor of no smoke without fire is a strong one, and
and it was obvious to me it was about the past. It was more like, to me, like I said, I thought it's always quite modern, which is good. So that means people don't have to interpret it that way, which is great, because that means it's got more universal possibilities, let's hope.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not most, but quite a lot of good songs, if the lyrics hold up and they make people think, that's surely that's the mark of a good song, if people start thinking about it, you know.
Right. Well, we've got 4 minutes left.
Yes.
So Nick, it's now your turn. Whatever questions you want to ask, and Lawrence, I'm done. So thank you, Toby.
I was pretty much going to ask exactly that same question. What was the inspiration for the song, and you know, what the lyrics mean? But
let's just discuss it then. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, but the music itself. Sorry to cut you off. The music itself. The kind of the riff.
I liked it there. Good.
I like the riff, and it's quite a simple riff, but when we're putting it through because Assad's got a home studio, so we're putting it through the PA, whatever the fucking thing. I don't know technology.
Yeah.
And he was sorting out all the effects, and there was a particular atmospheric effect which we used, and it just kind of spurred on an atmosphere. And then one of the main Sisters of Mercy influences was the drum machine. So that was all drum programming on Assad's part. And I think because it had atmospheric guitar, it had quite a simple bass line, and then it had this drum pattern. It kind of has a bedding, so you can put anything on top. That's why there's the high falsettos. That was my compromise with Assad, which was, okay, if I deep voice, we've got to have some kind of layering, like a
theatrics.
Was that what you said? Or
so there's a range,
a lift, a dynamic.
Yeah.
Or was that what you wanted or what he wanted? Sorry, what would you say it was?
He didn't care. He was just like, look, okay, we've got the song. Let's just add to it what you want. He's quite.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah.
Well, I liked how it was harmonically ambiguous. Like, I mean, I can't wait to hear the actual key it was in, but I know there was like, it had an interesting thing where like after one of the like the main lyrics, so you would go to it. Went to an unrelated chord, which I think was kind of frigid, and then went back somewhere else. I liked that. It was cool.
Yeah, that was thanks to Tish, who you've had on here, because he started showing me these particular slight jazz inversions, and two particular, I don't even know their names, but there's two particular chords.
Yeah, I don't know their names either, but your fingers doing different structures. Yeah.
Can I say the middle 8 part was inspired by a Spark song, Never Turn Your Back on Mother Earth.
We've only got like a minute left. We don't edit too much, but basically, so how would what would you like to say about the song before we finish up? And anyone else to say?
Sending it through CD Baby, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. We're going to do a lyric video.
And it's going to be under your name, Toby Stewart.
It's going to be under my name. Me and Assad, songwriters, and musicians. I did the guitar and the both vocals, and he did the bass and the drum programming, and then he produced it.
Brilliant.
Okay, sweet.
That's a fantastic song.
Thank you very much.
Check it out.
Thank you very much, Toby. And yes, This concludes our short video interview. Look out for Toby's new song coming very shortly, as partially promoted by the Progressive Arts Collective, and have a great night all. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toby.
To see your